Good morning. My name is Georgette Magnan. I'm White River's Buddhist Women's Association President. Welcome to today's Eshinni-Kakushinni Service. This annual service is in memorial of Eshinni and Kakushinni, the wife and daughter of Shinran Shonin. Both were a representation of Buddhism with their historical roles in the religion and influence on Shinran's writings. Both were strong-willed, independent, and assertive women who were instrumental in promoting the religion beyond its foundings. Today, we remember them and honor their role in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism with a special service that includes chanting, readings from several BWA members, a musical number, and a guest speaker, Reverend Candice Shibata. Please Gasho for opening meditation. A family is a place where the mind lives with other minds. If these minds love each other, the home will be as beautiful as a flower garden. Namo Idabats, Namo Idabats, Namo Idabats. We will begin the service with the chanting of Sanfujo and Jusege by Reverend Warwick.
Ujo Midanyorai Niudo Yo San Ge Mujo Shaka Nyorai Niudo Yo San Ge Ujo Jipo Nyorai Niudo Jo San Ge Agon Shosegan Ishimu Jodo Shigan Humanzo Seifujo Shoga Gao Muryoko Huidai Seishu Husai Shobingu Seifujo Shoga Gashijo Bundo Myosho Chojiapo Kukyo Mishomon Seifujo Shoga Ryokujin Shonen Joe Shubongyo Shigu Mujodo Isho Tenin Jinriki and Daiko Fusho Musaido 頂三苦名、交際集約難、回避地永遠、名詞根母案、永足小悪道、通達全宗門、高僧上満足、医療上自法、日願修十期、天候音符言、一周解放像、公正功徳法、上大集中、説法四式、供養一切分、具足修徳本、元年失上満、徳一三概要、如仏無下智、通達未不詳、願学営利、等し最小尊、志願や国家、大仙の感動、国書天人、とうち妙見。Naman Dambu Naman Dambu Naman Dambu Naman Dambu Naman Dambu Naman Dambu Ganishi Kudoku Byodo Sei Isai Dohoten Bodai Ishin Ojo An Rako. Namamida, namamda, namamida, namanda, 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 namanda.
The Three Treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teaching of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I put my faith in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves thy supreme will. I put my faith in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I put my faith in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in thy life of harmony, in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namandam, namandam, namandam.
It's with a great deal of pleasure that I introduce our guest speaker for today. Reverend Candice Shibata was born in San Jose, California, and moved to Stockton, California shortly after her birth. While growing up, she attended Dharma school at the Buddhist Church of Stockton. Reverend Candice began her collegiate studies at a junior college and later transferred to Cal State University, Sacramento, where she majored in psychology. After graduation, she was a case manager for children with special needs, and in 2009, she obtained her first Master of Arts degree in counseling psychology from the University of San Francisco. Following graduate school, she interned as a therapist at two elementary schools from 2009 to 2010. In September of 2012, she received Tokudo ordination in Kyoto and served as the minister's assistant at the Buddhist Church of Stockton. She graduated with her second master's degree in Buddhist Studies from the Institute of Buddhist Studies Graduate Theological Union in May 2015. 1 month later, she returned to Japan to complete her Kyoshi certification. Reverend Candace became the resident minister of the Berkeley Buddhist Temple on January 1st, 2016, and worked there for 2 years until her relocation to the Buddhist Church of Florin on January 1st, 2018. She began her new assignment at the Buddhist Church of Stockton on July 1st, 2020. Now, Reverend Candace is the fourth generation Shibata to serve in the Buddhist churches of America. Welcome, Reverend Shibata.
Hello. To begin my Dharma message, please join me in Gassho. I myself will be going to the Pure Land Paradise very soon. There, everything can be seen without any darkness. So be sure to say the Nembutsu and come to the paradise to be with me. Indeed, when we go to the paradise and meet again, nothing whatsoever will be in darkness. From Eshinni-sama's letter number 10, written in 1268. Namu Amidabutsu. Namu Amidabutsu. Namu Amidabutsu. Namu Amidabutsu. Hello, everybody. I would first like to thank Reverend Warwick and the Buddhist Women's Association for the kind invitation to be your guest speaker for the Eshinni-Kakushinni and Buddhist Women's Association Memorial Service. Although I was truly looking forward to coming to your temple and seeing all of you in person, I'm still very happy to be able to join you today through the wonders of technology. You might have noticed that I'm wearing the wagesa from the White River Buddhist Temple. I've always admired this wagesa, especially when I would see Reverend Gerald Sakamoto wearing it at various BCA functions. Luckily, I was able to inherit this beautiful wagesa from my uncle, Reverend George Shibata, prior to his move to Japan with my auntie in just this last September. I think it was the cute strawberries and the dragonflies that caught my immediate attention, but it also symbolizes a personal connection to the White River Buddhist Temple, as well, since my great-grandfather, Eiju Shibata, served there from 1914 until 1922, and my grandfather, Teshin Shibata, also served there in 1937 until 1942. That's why it's such an honor for me to be with you today to observe this Eshinni-Kakushinni and BWA Memorial Service. This service truly honors the dedicated efforts of Eshinni, her daughter Kakushinni, and the women of this temple in their undeniable support and spread of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. Reverend Warwick also mentioned that your temple has beautiful scrolls hanging in the Onaichi, or the altar, of Eshinni and Kakushinni to honor them, but to also honor and show support of the women in your temple as well. This is such a special service for me, probably because I too am a woman in the ministry, and allows me to pay tribute to the important women of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, who have given me the opportunity to share the teachings with others, and for all of us to live our lives with the Nembutsu teachings. Because of their devotion to the teachings, we have such a precious opportunity to be a Sangha at all of our temples. Luckily, through the discovery of Eshinni's letters in 1921, dated in the 13th century, we're able to get a glimpse into her character and her family life with Shinran Shonin. Mostly written to her youngest daughter, Kakushinni, we are able to gain valuable insight into the history of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism and also Japanese pre-modern history through what Eshinni had to endure during her lifetime. The letters illustrate that her family was the center of her life. She made remarks and inquiries about her daughter, Kakushini, and her family members, and took an active interest in her grandchildren, just like many grandmothers do. She even commented about the special bond that links parent to child. She also singled out her youngest daughter, Kakushini, with special words and affection. Her love and devotion to her husband, Shinran, was also evident in these letters. Due to Eshinni's devotion to Shinran Shonin, her great faith in the Nembutsu, and she, because of this, insisted that a gravesite memorial be built for him. Eshinni's initiative ensured that a chapel was built in his memory. This establishment is important to all of us because we are now able to practice Jodo Shinshu Buddhism in the United States. As a woman in the ministry, I am grateful for the workings of Eshinni and Kakushini. Because of their love and dedication, I too can learn about the teachings of Amida Buddha and Shinran Shonin. I'm also drawn towards Eshinni's affection towards her youngest daughter Kakushini, since my mother too was a huge means of support and encouragement. I too am the youngest daughter of our family, so reading these letters between mother and daughter have a very special place in my heart. So regarding letters, I wanted to talk about a very personal incident that relates the sentiment of how letters are shared between mother and daughter. Before I left in 2014 to live in Japan for 1 year, my sisters, my niece, and I, we wanted to get a tattoo that would connect the four of us before I moved. We thought about it and decided that we wanted to get something that had my mother's handwriting. By that time, I had gone through a few moves from doing my studies in Sacramento for undergraduate, then going back home to Stockton, then moving to Berkeley to pursue my graduate degree at the Institute of Buddhist Studies, and then back home to Stockton. So needless to say, my personal belongings had moved several times, and knowing where everything was impossible to remember. I started to look through my things at my parents' house, and I couldn't find the cards that my mother had written me that I had saved. I began to panic, and I frantically started shuffling through the things in my room. My niece also started to help me, and I think that we both could feel the panic and the nervousness that we were both experiencing as we looked through several boxes. I opened this large tin that I kept, probably the one that previously had 3 types of flavored popcorns in it beforehand. And luckily, I was able to find my mother's cards that she had written me from the holidays and from my birthday, and they were safely tucked away in this tin. A huge sense of relief filled my heart, and in the room that we were in, my niece and I hugged as I said, "We found them. We found them." A few weeks later, the 4 of us got our matching tattoos in my mother's handwriting that states, "Love always." And I'm not sure if you had noticed it earlier, but it's written here on my wrist. You might be wondering why these cards were so important to us. 17 years ago, my mother passed away very suddenly from a brain hemorrhage. At that time, she was only 59, and I was only 25 years old. To say that I was deeply grief-stricken is an understatement, and I mourned her passing for a very long time. She was such a special woman. She had a way of making you feel loved and nurtured and cared for through everything that she did. Her love was felt through every meal that she cooked, the care that was extended to friends and family, and through her warm smile and her laughter. Before my mother's passing, she worked as the secretary at the Buddhist Church of Stockton, where I'm serving now. Starting my assignment here has been, honestly, a little bittersweet, since it is an honor for me to come back and to serve the temple community where I grew up. However, I do miss seeing my mom in the temple office. Shortly after my mother's passing, I remember calling the office telephone at nighttime before I went to bed. Her outgoing message was still on the answering machine, and it was a way for me to still have her in my life through the sound of her voice and the smile that I could feel behind it. However, I was devastated when I called one evening and her message had been deleted. I felt like I had lost her all over again. At times, I do wonder if I would have pursued the ministry if my mother was still alive. Honestly, I'm not sure. However, I do acknowledge her passing as a karmic condition of my life that allowed me to encounter the Buddha Dharma in such a way that inspired me to share its transformative nature of loss and grief into love, appreciation, and compassion for others. During this time as a minister, I have realized that even though I can't hear my mother's voice on the temple answering machine or every day, her calling voice from Amita's Pure Land is always with me. I can continue to hear her every day, guiding me with love and comfort, encouragement, and support as I say Namo Amida Butsu. My story regarding my mother reminds me of the enduring love that Eshinni had for her entire family. Despite the hardships she experienced and her imminent passing, she cared for her family deeply and expressed her wish to be reunited with them in the Pure Land, as I stated earlier to open my Dharma message. Infinite karmic conditions have allowed me to become a minister and to be with you today. Through the infinite wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha, I no longer have a heart that's filled with loss and grief, but a heart filled with deep gratitude. Although Eshinni and Kakushinni lived a long time ago, they still have a significant impact on our lives, just like your past BWA members as well. Similar to these past women of your BWA, their voices too will continue to support and comfort all of us with the Nembutsu teachings as our guide. So thank you again for allowing me to be your guest speaker today. In conclusion, please join me in Gassho. I myself will be going to the Pure Land Paradise very soon. There everything can be seen without any darkness, so be sure to say the Nembutsu and come to the paradise to be with me. Indeed, when we go to the paradise and meet again, nothing whatsoever will be in darkness. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you again for allowing me to be your guest speaker. Please stay safe and well, everyone.
The Jodo Shinshu Creed. Entrusting the vow of the Buddha and reciting the sacred name, I shall proceed through the journey of life with strength and joy. Revering the light of the Buddha, reflecting upon my imperfect self, I shall strive to live a life of gratitude. Following the teachings of the Buddha, discerning the right path, I shall spread the true Dharma. Rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding one another, I shall do my best to work towards the welfare of society. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda.
Fortune smiles and flowers adorn our way. trustingly we cry, Namo Amida Butsu. When our life leads us to the other shore, and Buddha's light we'll seek forevermore. In Nembutsu, our grateful hearts shall soar. Namo Amida Butsu.
As we remember Eshinni and Kakushinni, we also remember the countless women who have shaped our own temple into what it is today. Like Eshinni and Kakushinni, they have influenced and lifted up the teachings of the Buddha Dharma. Please Gasho for closing meditation. As the sun shines upon the earth, awakening into growth the seeds that lie dormant in the soil, may the light of wisdom shine into our minds and truly awaken us to our ignorance, and by this insight stir us to strive for a life of deeper understanding and enlightenment. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for joining us for service today. We hope that you stay safe.